I want to emphasize the importance of diagnosis in this whole process before we even begin to design ministry. And that's what this whole Transformed by the Spirit initiative helps us to do better than we've done before. And I want to illustrate this in a story. Our son Tom, when he was 16, was diagnosed with having cancer, but they did not know what kind of cancer. He had a tumor about the size of a football that was pressing on his heart and lungs, and he had already been helped through intervention and was in the University of Michigan hospital. And they thought that perhaps what he had was a very severe type of cancer, life-threatening, and they really told us that he only had maybe a couple months to live. But our best hope was that he would receive radiation. They still had not had a good pathology report to be completely conclusive. But with what information they had, they began to go about setting him up for radiation. And there he was, as we were waiting for him to receive the radiation, there he was on a table with a cross marked over his chest. And we were praying, many people were praying, and within a minute of the time they would have started the radiation, the phone rang in the there in that hallway in the hospital for the technician, and he picked it up, he put it down, he ran to the door, and he banged on the door, and he said, "Stop, stop, stop." And they stopped, they opened the door, and he said, "Don't start, because it's non-Hodgkin's lymphoma." A completely different diagnosis. And so if they had started the radiation, it would have complicated the whole process of trying to deal with a non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. So the pathologist had found out just in time to call the radiologist. So what I'm saying here is, if we have the wrong diagnosis, we're not going to be able to approach the concerns that we have to approach in ministry. And our design, our approach, is not going to be near as effective. It may be completely ineffective without a good diagnosis. So it's important that as you begin to diagnose what your adaptive challenges are, your ministry challenges are, and the time that we live in is different from times past. If we don't diagnose these properly, then we're not going to be able to really address them. So I want to encourage you to dig deep and try to understand what it is that you are facing in your ministry.